Focus fans, it's Alex Worley. This week's Empowerista is Eden Sassoon. You probably recognize her last name. She is the daughter of Vidal Sassoon and the owner of Eden by Eden Sassoon, a salon that has nails, makeup, hair. I love it. It's a one-stop shop. Genius.
Lashes, extensions.
Amazing. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much.
So let's talk about you continuing the beauty legacy of the legendary icon Vidal Sassoon. Did you always know that you'd want to continue that legacy?
No, I had no idea. But when I was watching such a humble, integral man pass and knowing that it was happening, you know, sooner than later, and he sort of questioned what's next, and would push me. I thought to myself, if I really sort of want to do the bigger things in life to impact as many people as I possibly can, what are my best options? Here's a man who has a world's renowned name and has impacted so many people in this world. So I decided to follow suit.
So it was really the impact that inspired you. You're like, I can do something really impactful just simply because I have this legacy that I can carry on.
100%.
You always felt a lot of freedom to be whoever it is that you want to be?
No, it took a lot of work.
Explain that. Tell me about that work.
Even as a child, I think I was very quiet. I was very shy. I was the youngest of four. And so I was overpowered by everyone in my family, and there was so much chaos going on, and he being, you know, dad and working and traveling, and my mom trying to keep it together, and my sister being larger than life and not with us anymore. So you can imagine, I would just try to find peace and solace somewhere, you know, quiet space. So I didn't really have a voice, and I would always try to find that voice. And as I got older, I would even have dreams of myself sort of choking and not being able to speak. And so as I got older, I would get into acting class just to find my voice, to really come out of myself. And it helped. And I was always in therapy talking about, I don't know whatever was on my mind, searching for more meaning and why and what.
So is there a tool that you utilize that you can share with people watching or listening to this that they could incorporate into their life to be more present and reflect more on the things going on in their life?
I mean, you say the word tool, and you know, this was, I'm almost 43, this was a lifetime of tools. But yes, I mean, it's the choices that you make in your daily life. So I choose to live my life a certain way. I'm very disciplined. I choose to work out every single day. I choose to eat healthy. I choose to, you know, say my prayers and let go to the universe or to whatever you want to call God, may be it, or whatever it may be for you. You know, it's not about me. Release what it is and kind of move through this space and time that we're all in together in a positive way.
So it's a lifestyle, that's a key takeaway.
100%.
And also it takes time. So it's okay if it doesn't happen overnight.
Yes.
We're evolving our entire lives. Isn't that what it's about?
Yes,
Isn't that what life is about?
right.
It's just learning
Well,
and
my
evolving.
thing is, you know, we are basically living to die, and it's how we do it and the choices we make to get there. So we can put a smile on our face and we can aggressively, you know, passionately go at life, or we can sit back and let life take us. And so, yeah.
Was there a key life moment or experience that made you go, okay, I am at a crossroads and I want something more?
There were a ton. I would
Tell me about a couple of them.
I would say my father's death was huge for me, and at the same time, 2 weeks later, my relationship ended, and I thought that for
With
some
your
reason,
husband?
no, my
Oh.
husband and I had been divorced for a while.
What relationship?
A relationship I was in for 2.5
Oh,
years,
gotcha.
and so he couldn't handle it, and my father passed, and then he left,
wow.
and so, you know, the two men in my life that really kind of held me together, were gone. I had these two children, I was opening the new business, I had the Pilates studio, and there were things in my life that weren't working, and that was my drinking habit. And so I chose to stop drinking and completely take on a sober lifestyle. And
how many years has it been?
It's been almost 4. Within business, I'm definitely, over the last 4 years, have gained more of a voice. And more of, it was really hard for me to be a boss. I'm like, no, we work together. Yeah, I understand that you work for me, but you work with me. We're a team.
Which is a really good sign of a leader.
I think so.
What do you know so far about being a good leader? And what would you tell people makes a good leader?
For me, it's being truthful. It's owning up to who I am. It's leading by example. So I for me make those correct choices. I'm very, again, disciplined. You know, I'm healthy. So you have a healthy body. You, for the most part, have a healthy mind. Healthy friendships. You're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. So I surround myself with, you know, give or take a few that are kind of still coming up on their enlightenment and journey path. I really don't have the time or energy for those that are still sort of out there lost.
And it's okay to end friendships and
Completely.
relationships.
And
Some people don't realize
was a hard
that.
thing
It's
to learn.
okay to say
Yes.
bye. It doesn't mean that they're bad people.
No.
It just means that your paths aren't driving right now, right?
Yes. And you have to be able to let go and open that space up for something else to come in. And there's so many amazing, incredible friendships, women, men. I have tons of close men friendships, which is very interesting. And if I hold on to the past and things that were safe to me at one point, then I won't have space for the new.
Let's talk about your dad for a second. I think mothers get a lot of credit for the way their daughters are raised, and rightfully so, because moms are amazing. But dads should get credit too when they're great dads, and it sounds like yours was. How did he make a positive impact in your life beyond just passing along the legacy?
It's not even the legacy that he passed, it was everything that he did for us, and I was able to see it and respect and honor it as a child, and as an adult as well. From instilling the right, you know, when I was 16, I said, Dad, we're gonna go look at a car, and I took him to BMW, and he walked out of there with, you have this car, you will buy it yourself one day.
Oh,
Do
wow.
you understand me? He was not having it. Okay.
So he taught you to value money and material
And
things.
I had a job since I was 14. I worked at, you know, Mrs. Fields Cookies. I worked at restaurants. I was always a waitress in dress shops. Like I didn't take things for granted, and I wasn't one of those, you know, privileged, bratty Beverly Hills, what people think, stereotypical kids.
You probably grew up around a few of them,
100%.
right? And so do you think that that made a huge difference, that your dad instilled a work ethic and appreciation for money, that you were actually able then to also be successful versus just living off of a legacy?
Yes, because I could have. When he passed, I could have easily done nothing.
Right.
And so I chose not to. But he also, we were able to travel. And when I say travel, yes, we traveled nicely, but he took us to places and we saw things that maybe, you know, wealthy families wouldn't do to their children. That thank you, Dad, for taking us to these underprivileged, you know, third world countries where children are on the streets and they don't have food and water, and making me see what real life is about.
Which is a perfect segue to the fact that you head up Beauty Gives Back. So tell us about what that is and why it's so important to you.
So when me opening my finishing studio happened in my mind when I was getting my hair blown out, my underlying goal was Beauty Gives Back. I didn't know what it was called, I didn't know what it looked like, I didn't know who I was helping or what I was doing at the time, but it was to make a huge change in the world and me giving back. For me, it's not all this stuff. It's not the nice car I drive or the house I have, or, you know, it's the people's lives that I impact. It's the moments that I share with people. It's maybe I got an email I woke up to 2 days ago and she's like, I need to tell you how you've changed my life. I've lost 7 pounds in this amount of time and now I'm eating healthy. I mean, she just went on and on and on. I do all these other things because yes, I do live in this society and I do, function as this woman in this body who was raised in a certain way, and I have nice things, but as many nice things I have is as many things that I want to give away.
Yeah, and being purposeful and making a difference can take so many different forms.
Yes.
And you are purposeful and making a difference in your salon, in your Pilates
Yes.
studio, in so many ways.
Yes.
Speaking of, I want to talk about your Pilates studio. Where did this idea come from?
Okay, so again, that was my father too. After I had 2 kids, and at the time I was miserably married, and it was all this stuff was going on, and he sat me down, and this finally happened to me. I didn't realize when he sat me down that day that he knew he was sick. He knew he had cancer. He knew he had a limited time. Well, 10 years, they said. So when he asked me, what are you going to do with your life? I thought it was just, we're having tea, and he's kind of questioning me again, like, come on. No, here's a dying man saying to his baby girl, what are you going to do with your life? Mm-hmm. And the timing I didn't realize until actually recently, because he didn't tell me he had cancer until 3 or 4 years later.
Oh, wow.
So, wow. You're asking me knowing that you're not going to be around forever. And I left his house thinking, who am I? What do I want? What do I want to do? Mm-hmm. I don't just want to work. I want to make a difference in people's lives. So I sat back and said, what is making a difference in my life right now? And whatever that is, I want to pay it forward and share with other people.
So you just did it.
I just did it.
Sometimes that's what it's all about, is just having a vision. Yeah. Not necessarily
Don't
knowing
even
exactly
think about
what
it.
you're
You
doing.
jump in.
Just jumping in like a cold pool.
Yep, that's how I did the salon as well. It came to me, it like sunk right in, and if you don't listen to that gut feeling, you know it's right, and that's it.
So when you get the gut feeling, your advice is you have to immediately act on it in some way.
In some way. And then along the way, if there's that feeling and you get signs that it's not right, then listen to them.
Because it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to say no.
But if you're working off of fear and you're changing your mind because you're afraid, then there lies an issue.
So how do you know that you're working off the right thing when it comes to saying no or changing your mind?
As far as when I was leaving my husband, I knew that was right. You just,
that gut feeling again?
Mm-hmm. You know it's right. Mm-hmm. When I was opening the Pilates studio, there was nothing that could stop me. Nothing. Sleepless nights, everything was taking me in that direction. When the salon was happening, as fearful as I was that maybe this wasn't going to happen, I was still like an uncontrollable pull that I couldn't even stop myself from.
How do you make beauty empowering? How do you sprinkle that into your salon, for instance?
I live. I do me. And when you see me and you're around me enough, you're like, I want a little bit of that. Or you spend time with me, just like Brenda, she does my hair and makeup all the time, and we travel together.
She's super empowered.
She is, and she empowers me as well. Yeah. But she also knows that when we go away and we're away for a week, we're up at 6, we're at the gym, we're eating healthy. We're not. This isn't like playtime, or we're in bed by 8:30. We're thinking, we're talking, we're crying. The emotions are coming out. We're sharing. We're living life. I do me, and when you see it, and if you're open to it, then you're gonna want. That's what you attract.
What is your definition of empowerment?
I think it's one is self-acknowledgement, self-understanding, self-love, and then being able to truly be open enough to pay that forward and letting others receive it.
Love it. All right, let us know what your definition of empowerment is by using #Empowerista, and we'll send you some social media love. Thanks so much, Eden.
Thank you so much.